How's it going, everyone? I want to talk a little bit about Gundam Evolution in this video. The page is up with a lot of information, and there will be a playtest that will be running. We've known about this game for a little bit, but we have some more info on it, and it will be officially releasing in 2022. Also, want to talk a little bit about Tales of Arise, Biomutant, and Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Those are all on sale over on Gamefly. Really good deals on all of those, and also little update on Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. Also want to give you guys a heads up on two new games that dropped today that you guys might not be aware about. But first up, Gundam Evolution is dropping in 2022. Look, I want a big budget Gundam game. This isn't exactly what I am wanting out of a Gundam title, but I'll have to say it looks like a pretty fun game. I mean, it's a free-to-play hero shooter with a variety of different Gundam. I don't know, I think some people are gonna be a little bit down on it right out of the gate, but yo, I'm a big Gundam fan, at least I was growing up, so I want to see this game do really well. It's noted to be a fast-paced and immersive team-based FPS where you pilot mobile suits from the smash hit Gundam anime. If you haven't seen the trailer showcased some of the gameplay. You've got different game modes like Domination in there. And it's an online free-to-play FPS, which you take control of mobile suits from Gundam itself. 6v6 objective-based battles featuring fast-paced action and immersive controls. Players can switch between many different mobile suit units to suit the ever-changing battle conditions, utilize their unique characteristics, and cooperate with teammates to secure the win. I mean, they showcase some of the Gundams, and yeah, definitely a throwback to some of your favorites if you did watch the anime growing up, or at least if you've seen any posters or anything like that, you'll be right at home. It notes a thrust system. Activating the thruster gauge kicks the action into overdrive. Use thruster movement to cover long distances. It's like a fast dash that'll help you traverse distances. I can see that being pretty annoying for some people, but also utilizing it effectively, as long as they, have it under control where you can't be dashing every 5 seconds, every 2 seconds, really. But, yeah, it looks like a pretty fast-paced game as well. On top of that, you have G maneuver effects. These effects, which can be activated when the G maneuver meter reaches 100%, vary from unit to unit. All of them have a different one, which can be used as special abilities. So again, this is a free-to-play title, which, we'll see how that turns out, but an interesting game nonetheless. They were making that Gundam mobile ops game. I forget the exact name of it. It was like a 360 title, and it was like a boots-on-the-ground hybrid with Gundam. It was kind of like Titanfall, not really like Titanfall, but that's kind of the vibe you got from it. All the way back in the 360 era, never saw the light of day. It ultimately got canceled, and that was a game that I always found rather interesting. This looks to be more of an arcadey take, while that was more of a realistic take. As realistic as gigantic robots fighting each other is going to be, but nevertheless, Gundam Evolution is dropping this year, and there will also be a playtest, so if you do want to get in on the action early, you can request access directly from Steam, or you can sign up. I believe there's a page online, so yeah, you can get in on that. I believe that's going to be happening later in like a couple months, or I would imagine July to August, around that time frame. Alright, moving on from that, a couple of deals over at Gamefly. They're running a blowout sale right now. A couple of deals just really stood out to me. Biomute's down to $9.99. This game is getting cheaper and cheaper. I know, absolutely panned on release. Not absolutely panned. I mean, it's got a 64 on Metacritic. That's honestly not the worst score in the world. It was a game that if it dropped at $30, I think people would have been a lot more satisfied with it. Really, the issue was it dropped at $60, and it wasn't worth that. It does have a lot of charming elements to it, and outside of the horrendous narration, the combat is interesting, albeit a little bit redundant. The world is very colorful, and that is pretty cool. And you do have a lot of decisions as far as what factions you want to join and whatnot. For $9.99, I think it's a pretty decent open world action RPG. Check it out if you want a game over to play, maybe over the summer when things are a little bit more quiet. Might be something worthwhile for you to check out. Tales of Arise is down to $24.99. This is a game that has just retained its price point. It is not getting cheaper, and a lot of times you're seeing these games get cheaper and cheaper. Tales of Arise is one that's actually held up in price quite a bit, and even when I say that, I mean, this game came out in September. It being $25 10 years ago, to see that price depreciation, we'd be like, wow, that's so much, that's so cheap, but like the standards have changed. Games are getting so much cheaper, so much quicker. But Tales of Arise is an excellent game. It's also a lengthy JRPG, 45 to 50 hours if you're trying to do like the side content as well. If you rush to do the main story, you can probably finish it relatively quickly, but it's an excellent game. Great story, great cast of characters. $25 is a great buy. Also, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy down to $18 over on PS4, yes, while it came out on Xbox Game Pass today. You ain't playing it on PlayStation now, so go ahead and buy it. I thought it was a great game. End of the game gets a little bit too, like, you know, shove enemies down the player's throat kind of thing. Too many enemies, in my opinion. I thought, you know, the mix of combat with the platforming worked really well. And, you know, and a couple of puzzles here and there. The puzzles are nothing too crazy. The story's really good, very comedic, and I got really into the characters, and I'm not like a big Marvel guy or anything like that, so $18 for Guardians of the Galaxy, would recommend that. Outside of the deals, also, Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin is a game that I'm a little bit skeptical on, but there is a demo available right now, and it is a multiplayer demo, so go check that out. We talked about it yesterday, but this is a game that people are pretty skeptical on. You know, I thought the trailer looked great, to be perfectly honest. I thought the trailer that they showed yesterday at the State of Play, thought it was stylish. I thought it showed off some slick gameplay. Sure, it's not a visual like Juggernaut or anything like that. This isn't Final Fantasy 16. I thought it looks pretty good. And, yeah, I don't know how eager people are to jump into another Souls games. The competition is a little bit rough right now, but we do have 3-player co-op in the game, so that's pretty cool. Go check out the demo. That's available on the PlayStation Store. Don't gotta pre-order the game, nothing fancy like that, just there for you to download. Good on them for doing one final push on this game ahead of its March 17th release. And then I also want to note, we have Aztech Forgotten Gods. This is a game that I've been playing thanks to the developers. They actually hooked me up with a copy of the game. Working on a review right now. I am enjoying a lot of elements of this game. I think the soundtrack's awesome. I think the thematics and the backdrop of the lore, the Aztec setting, I think that is fantastic. Gameplay, I'm not too crazy on. The lack of voice acting kind of hurts with how like heavy the dialogue has been in this game and how rather interesting the narrative is, and they do have these like sound effects that play that get incredibly redundant, but you know, maybe that $30 price tag is a little bit hefty, but there are elements of this game that I really like. I think the gameplay has some really cool elements. You get more abilities as you play this game. You have this like robo arm. It's pretty cool. The gameplay's interesting, and there's some traversal elements as well. It's an interesting game that I would definitely have on your radar, and I think a lot of you guys would end up enjoying it. It's just that $30 price tag's a little bit hard of a sell. If it was at like 15 to 20, I would say, hey, that's a perfect price for the game. 30 is a little bit much in my opinion, but enjoying it, and I am working on a review that should be out by the end of this week. Also, Young Souls dropped today. This is a game I've been looking forward to for a little bit as well. A co-op beat-em-up RPG. Very, very charming art style here. Very colorful. I've talked about it a little bit before, but the art style totally reminds me of like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. That's totally the vibe I get. Seems like it had some slick gameplay here. If you're a fan of beat-em-ups, might be something you end up enjoying, but that's another one to keep on your radar and maybe add it to the wish list and see what's up down the line on a discount. But yeah, 2 games that are going a little bit under the radar, but definitely have your eyes on. And again, I will have that Aztech Forgotten Gods review out pretty soon. Enjoying it, especially the soundtrack. I think the soundtrack is tremendous in that game. But that's gonna do it for me. Again, Gundam Evolution dropping later this year. There will be a playtest that will be happening. Biomutant, Tales of Arise, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, some decent deals there. And Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin, the demo available now. Go check that out if you have any interest, or even not. It's free demo. Go play it. That's gonna do it for me. All your thoughts can go in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.